So choice time. Choice time is, some people call it center time, work time. This is truly free choice. It allows children to make decisions about where they would like to work, whom they will work with, and what materials they will use. This period typically lasts an hour or more and includes a variety of interest areas. So you have your blocks, dramatic play, toys and sand, toys and games, sand and water, library, art, um, music and movement. During choice time, what is the teacher's role? Teachers play an active role as observers and facilitators. Choice time, once you know how to do it and you're doing it right as a teacher, this is going to be one of the most valuable times because you're really getting to know the children on a more personal level. You're watching how children engage. You can ask open-ended questions. You can extend the play. Teachers really gain valuable insight into each child's skills, interests, and understanding. What does that do? These observations guide your ongoing planning, assessment, and individualized support. Because making choices is a critical skill, teachers should establish clear systems that help children plan and manage their decisions. So, visual cues like charts or planning boards can help children indicate where they'll work and understand area limits. Many of you, hopefully, you have started with the first 6 weeks, which is where you set up your systems with the children, where really you create a lot of that structure in the classroom. Hopefully, you didn't skip over any of the first 6 weeks. But in the first 6 weeks, you determine with the children how many children fit in each interest area. What is going to be your classroom management? How are children going to know? Sometimes, some years, right? I had to be flexible with children. Some years, if the children helped me decide that maybe in the blocks interest area, only 5 children could fit there and work together, there were enough materials and space for only 5 children. Maybe on the side of the blocks shelf, I had blocks interest area, and maybe I had only 5 Velcros. Whereas the children chose which area they were going to, they would put their name there. And then once we saw that there were no more Velcros left, that interest area was closed until one of the children left. So sometimes, some years, I used envelopes, like almost like a library card envelopes. I'm aging myself. If you remember, 100 years ago, we had library cards, but they would put their name inside the envelope. And once all 5, for example, of the envelopes were full, the children, no more children were allowed in there until one of the children that's in there left. So sometimes people will ask me, well, what do you do when you have this child who always wants to go to blocks? First of all, if that's an interest of theirs, right, we're going to allow it, but we're also going to encourage, because remember, in blocks, I can teach math, I can teach language and literacy, I can teach science, I can teach social studies, I can teach all of my content areas in all of the interest areas because I've set them up for success. I have measuring tapes, I have paper and pencil, writing utensils in each, I have books, I have counting, I have numbers and alphabet in all of my interest areas. So if a child chooses blocks over and over and over, when I have the children together to choose interest areas, maybe I pull that child's stick only after the block's interest area is full. And that forces him or her to choose another interest area. Now, is that necessary? Depends. Some teachers have no problem with a child going to blocks every day, unless they're making where there's no space or time for the other children. But if the children are not giving space for others, then maybe I select that child to go to interest areas only once blocks are already full, and then it forces them to choose another interest area, and I go support them there. I go make it fun, right? I'm not trying to force them to do something they don't like. I want to show them how fun it could be to work in the other interest areas. So again, using those visual cues, however you choose to do them. Some people, if you have a PowerPoint, you drag the child into the specific interest area after they choose, and that right there will show where are the children, how many fit in there. But over time, as children become familiar with the routine, so again, you noticed here, I talked about choice, I'm talking about choice time, but the way we get there is part of a transition routine. And these need to be tight. We need to have these routines, these transitions need to be tight because this is where that chaos can happen.